good everybody, it's UturnCrobat here. You're turning into today with week 6 of the ICBA, but before we get into anything guys, please make sure you leave a like on this video. Please please make sure you learn how to speak English. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more league content such as this. Today, we're going up against Meta, the coach of the Rhode Island Rotoms. Before I introduce my team, I really need to introduce his roster because his roster kind of has a lot of threats. He has a freaking Kieran Black, a Tornadus Therian, Feraligatr, Cresselia, all kinds of annoying, Shaman, Rotom Heat, Aromatisse, Hitmonchan, Mimikyu, Skunk Tank, and a Shuckle. It's kind of funny because a couple of his mons that he has on his roster, Kieran Black and Shaman, we actually had in the NPCC. So I mean, we know our way around those mons. We know how they operate, we know their weaknesses, and we know their strengths. Now, looking at his roster, we thought maybe he was going to be bringing Cresselia because it kind of, if it starts to set up, it kind of it's a great wall to have on his team. I mean, I was kind of shocked to see it not come because, as you can see, he didn't bring it. But I kind of thought maybe he was going to be bringing, I don't know. I wasn't entirely sure who he was going to be bringing because, unfortunately, I didn't really have a ton of say in this team that we're bringing today, only because I've been working a hell of a lot and I just have been MIA. Sucks. But moving on, the Rotom Heat showed up. I'm just going to introduce who he brought right now. It doesn't make sense to go over his roster anymore. But he's bringing the Shuckle, the Rotom Heat, the Shaman, the Feraligatr, the Mimikyu, and that Kyurem. Okay, before we got into this battle, we were talking, and I told Mark that, well, Mark and I were actually talking, that if he brought Shuckle, then we really needed to lead with a specific Pokemon. So I stopped talking to Mark, and as soon as I got into the battle, I was like, okay, fuck, he's bringing the Shuckle. So the team that we're bringing right now is Sylveon, max HP, max special attack, modest, Hyper Voice, Baton Pass, Heal Bell, Magic Coat, Specs. Now, the Hyper Voice was the only necessary move unless he spread a status and everything like that, or if he brought Shuckle, in which case, you know, Sylveon was the designated lead to bounce back webs, because if we lead Sylveon and he leads Shuckle, then we can use Magic Coat and we can spread the webs on his side, so it'll work out in our favor. Vaporeon with max HP, max defense, Scald, Roar, Wish Protect, Wakan Berry for that Rotom. But the Wakan Berry needed, or actually, the Wakan Berry really for Rotom or Kyurem, but moving on. Wakan Berry, we needed a switch in for Feraligatr, really, because Vaporeon could roll it out while it's not even going to get to it KO'd by anything. Feraligatr can do it +1. So if Feraligatr starts Dragon Dancing up, we can roll it out. Essentially. Now, Wakan Berry is also nice for Rotom in the Fusion Bolt Kyurem, like I mentioned. It just means that Vaporeon could Scald Rotom or Roar Kyurem to get extra chip damage on them. And the Wish Report is also nice to get our HP back, and also for mons like Excadrill that we want to try keeping alive for later on in the battle. Now, Latios is max special attack, max speed, modest with Psyshock, a Draco, Calm Mind, Recover with a Dragonium Z. Now, if hazards are up on his side, and we're able to bounce back webs, he can't beat Latios after a Calm Mind or two. It's just, he cannot, and it's just so freaking crazy as to how much work Latios can really do in this battle, because Latios isn't affected by webs at all, and the only Scarfer that could nuke Lati is Kyurem. But the webs eliminate Kyurem's Scarf, meaning that Lati will outspeed and drop a Draco, which is freaking phenomenal. Now, Excadrill is max special defense, 92 speed, 164 HP Jolly. Enough speed for max speed Adamant Feraligatr, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Iron Head, Sword Stance leftovers. Now, Mold Breaker was nice because it just meant that Iron Head could go through Mimikyu's disguise and just really Earthquake things like Rotom and Cress. Ninetales, max special attack, and enough speed for Scarf Kyurem. Kyurem Black's now Moonblast, Blizzard, Freeze Dry, and Encore. Ice and Fairy coverage really hurt him and his team, simply because no one really is going to want to get hit with a fucking Moonblast or a Freeze Dry. Let's just put it at that. This also checked the Feraligatr after a Dragon Dance, and any realistic Scarfers that he could bring. Encore was there for potential Calm Mind Cress, and also I could see it putting in work for a Dragon Dancing Feraligatr because we would outspeed, essentially. Hopefully, I haven't really checked the speed or anything, but I'm assuming that's what would happen. Now, Greninja is max attack, max speed, outspeed, Tornadus Therian, U-Turn, Gunk Shot, Rock Slide, Spikes, Expert Belt, It was Nully nature, and it was just great coverage for his team, honestly. Hitting most things for super effective damage, and also just forcing switches meant that Greninja can gain momentum with U-turn or set up some layer of spikes if need be. Now, I think I'm just going to get into this battle, only because I'm just going to say that this was an interesting battle. Keep in mind, if he did lead the Shuckle, then we really needed, or if he did bring Shuckle, we really needed to lead Sylveon, because he could be setting up his webs so fucking early on in the battle. So I am going to be leading Sylveon, predicting a potential lead Shuckle, which that is in fact what he's going to do. I'm predicting a sticky web right here. So I'm going for the Magico. If he was going to go for anything other than a sticky web, so be it. But I wanted to go for the Magico on a predicted sticky web, and I do predict right, so I'm able to get that sticky web up on his side, which helps us out in the long run. If we want a chance to win this battle, we really needed webs on his side. If he gets webs on our side, so be it. It's not going to matter too much. It's not going to really hurt us all that much. We really just needed to lower the speed of mons like Feraligatr, who could really put a dent in our team. Now, like I mentioned, the sticky web on our side doesn't matter at all. The Excadrill is out, and I'm just planning on going for an Iron Head right now. Now, the thing that was confusing me was the fact that he's going into Mimikyu right now. He could have saved the Mimikyu for later on in the battle. He really could have preserved the Mimikyu better than he did, and I just don't really understand. I'm going to be going for my rocks. I did say I was going to go for an Iron Head, but I'm going to be going for an Iron Head shortly anyways, but I really wanted rocks up so I could get that chip damage that I mentioned earlier on. Now, I'm going to bring the Mimikyu down to its sash with the Iron Head, and even if this thing was like, I don't know, Nesty, Focus Sash, Mimikyu, then he could have preserved that a little bit better than he did, but I don't know what his mindset was, so I don't know. But that Shadow Claw, as you see, isn't going to be doing much. Shadow Sneak isn't going to be doing anything at all. And like I mentioned, we do have the Wish on Vaporeon, so if we needed to Wish support to Excadrill, then that is there for our convenience. And this battle was, I obviously wanted to win, but I wasn't sure if, I didn't know how the battle was going to go, is what I'm really trying to say. And the only mon on our team that really wants to get hit with a fucking Seed Flare from the Shaman, and that's exactly what I was predicting, because, I mean, at this point in time, why wouldn't Shaman go for a Seed Flare? But I'm going to go into Latios, simply because I know for a fact Latios can take the Seed Flare, and if this thing wanted to go for a Dazzling Gleam, we can take one Dazzling Gleam, get a Calm Mind up, and just work around that. We can Calm Mind, we can recover, so we can potentially beat this Shaman if this thing wanted to go for a Dazzling Gleam. But luckily it didn't. It went for the Seed Flare, and luckily we did not get the Spadef drop. That would have been annoying, but we would have been able to really work around that. Shuckle's going to come back in. This thing is not going to want to get hit with a fucking Draco, or even the Devastating Drake, rather. So I am going to be going for the Calm Mind because I can really set up in front of the Shaman. So I honestly had no reason not to. Like I mentioned, Dazzling Gleam, we can work around that. But now that the Shaman's in front of us, I'm just going to drop a fucking Devastating Drake on this thing. Because at +1, it is not going to want to take a Devastating Drake. By all means, it's not going to want to take it at all. Granted, it's not going to want to take a regular Draco anyways. But the Devastating Drake, I'm just going to throw this out here. The Devastating Drake animation is just amazing. I am in love with it. I mean, at full, maybe Shuckle could have taken it, maybe, but it would not have been, it wouldn't have wanted to get two-shot. So, I mean, from that range, obviously you saw it go down, but I'm not sure what the calcs would have been if Shuckle was at full. Shaman's going to come back in, which honestly is fine. I mean, we have Psyshock, we have Draco, like we're going to see right here. The Shaman is not going to want to take a Draco at all. Already, this Latios is putting in hell of a ton of work in this battle. Now, because the Mimikyu is gone, he honestly does not have anyone on his team that wants to take a Draco. None. No one at all. So, I could potentially just spam Draco later on in the battle if I wanted to. Now, I had to do some calcs, because Kyurem is in, and the calc said that even at -2? I already forget, I'm so into this battle, I'm sorry, but even at -2, -4, whatever, the Draco will take out the fucking Kyurem, so honestly, I had no reason not to go for another fucking Draco, honestly. even if the Draco didn't kill, we could have still potentially lived, whether that Kyurem was physical or special. But luckily for us, the fucking Draco killed. Now we don't have any major threats on our opponent's team. The Feraligatr is in the way, which, yeah, it's annoying. This thing could set up all over us and just, like, bring the battle back. But I'm switching out because I want to preserve this 6-0 that we're going for. Early on in the battle, I wasn't trying to go for a 6-0, honestly. I just wanted to, I don't know, just get a good battle in. You know, I wanted to have fun. I did not try to go for a 6-0, but at this point in time, because he does have 2 mons left, I honestly saw no reason not to try going for it. This thing is, the Feraligatr is obviously going to outspeed because it set up the Dragon Dance, but I am able to live that crunch and roll this thing out because I don't want this thing Dragon Dancing all over me, because like I mentioned, he could have potentially Dragon Danced all over us and potentially brought the battle back. That would have been annoying. Now, the Wakan Berry is still intact, meaning if this thing wants to go for a Thunderbolt, or if this thing wants to go for a Scald, go for a Thunderbolt, or if this thing wants to go for a Volt Switch, then that's fine. I'm protecting here just a scout. I want to see what he's going to do. Now, this thing is going to overheat, just predicting. I'm assuming the Exodrill to come in, which is fine, because now I know what he's going to go for. If he wants to go for a Volt Switch or a Thunderbolt, whatever, I'm fine with that, because the Wakan Berry is going to pop, and we are going to be living the Thunderbolt relatively nicely. Obviously, we can't live another one, but I am going to be going for a Wish, simply because, A, I want to get... If I stay in, I want to get my my HP back. But if I decide to switch out, and if any of my mons take a Thunderbolt, then I want that Wish to recover them as well. The reason why I am staying in and allowing Vaporeon to take that Wish is because at this point in time, I did want to try to preserve our fucking 6-0. So just wishing and just getting all that HP back on Aerial, I felt was the better play than anything. Unfortunately, though, this Rotom is actually getting more HP than what I want. So I kind of have to decide what I need to fucking do. I know for a fact that Air United, our Latios, our major fucking dragon who is destroying this team, I know he can take a Thunderbolt. If he needs to take an Overheat, so be it. But we can Calm Mind. We can really hit Dracos and Side Shocks and everything. Now, at this point in time, I am going to be going for a Calm Mind because I want to make sure that if I go for a Side Shock, it's going to do enough damage where things can get 2-shot, or if I go for a Draco, I want to make sure that things are going to get 1-shot. Obviously, we're able to eat up this Thunderbolt, and I'm able to recover. Now, I know that from the range Rotom is at, I know for a fact that I don't want to use a Draco. I honestly don't, because if this thing is going to live, I don't want my special attack lowering. So honestly, the best bet for me right now is to go for a Psyshock. I do believe. Oh, okay. I know why, because I go for another Calm Mind, because that is the only way I'm able to 2-shot this fucking Rotom. I mean, this thing could have been offensive, this thing could have been defensive, but I wanted to go for the second Calm Mind just to make sure we're able to eliminate this Rotom with at least a 2-shot. As you're going to see right here, I'm going for the Psyshock, and you're going to be able to see how much damage this is going to do. It is definitely going to be 2-shotting this Rotom, which is exactly what I wanted. If we had not gone for that second Calm Mind, I don't think it would have done that much. I mean, yeah, it would have done a hell of a lot anyways, but I don't think Rotom would have been 2-shot if I did not go for that second Calm Mind. So I am glad that I did make that play, that I did make that decision, because now we're able to eliminate the Rotom, and the only mon he has left is the Feraligatr, which meaning it's not the best scenario to be in. This thing could could crunch. This thing could really hurt Latios. But keep in mind the check that we have for Feraligatr is was the Vaporeon, but because we are at +2, and I know for a fact we're going to be outspeeding. I don't know. I'm not even going to say what I was about to think, but I knew for a fact we were going to outspeed. Honestly, there was no reason for me to switch out. Vaporeon was the Feraligatr check, yes, but I knew I was going to outspeed, and I knew that if I hit the Draco, then Feraligatr would go down, and, you know, it did, as you saw. So that was I don't know. I'm so glad that we got a 6-0, honestly, only because the leagues that I've been in, I have not been able to get a 6-0. Honestly, the New London Zoroarks destroyed Shop in the NPCC. We went 10-3 in that league, in that season. So, getting a 6-0 for week 6 of the ICBA was pretty freaking awesome, honestly. It was a great way to, I don't know, it was a great way to kind of show off what the New London Zoroarks are able to do, honestly. So, but this battle, I do have to say, was, I'm a nice guy, I don't want to say anything bad or rude, but switching Mimikyu in and having Excadrill Ironhead it may have been the downfall, because had he preserved Mimikyu for later on in the battle, if that thing had SD, that thing could have put in a little more work. I mean, granted, we have a Latios, and the thing that that kind of held him back from winning, honestly, is the whole Magic Coat scenario. The reason why we won is all in the prep, because had he prepped for a potential Magic Coat Sylveon, maybe things would have been better on his side. But who the hell preps for a Magic Coat Sylveon? Honestly, I mean, I sure the hell wouldn't. But at the same time, that's exactly what I feel like dragged him down, was just allowing us to set up webs on his side, because even his Scarfers would not be able to outspeed our Mons like Latios. And as soon as Mimikyu went down, Latios had Fawn all over his team. But I think I'm going to get the hell out of here, guys. I've rambled on long enough, but if you guys enjoyed the battle, then please leave a comment down below. Please leave a like on this battle if you want to see more league content such as this. I mean, even if you don't, I'm going to be bringing them anyways, because I am in leagues and they're fucking fun. But I mean, you know, supporting the channel is always good too, right? I'm going to get the hell out of here, like I mentioned for the 3rd time already, but I hope all of you have a great day. Now I'll catch all of you all on the flip side.